Yeah, today I welcome you for the first time back in my home in Swedish Lapland. I was very excited to get back to my dogs and back to winter. I really love this coming time. On my travel back home, I had quite some thoughts about what is a home? Why do we call a home a home? Hi and welcome back. I'm going home. Yes, I start to pack and I go home. It's really time now after almost 2 weeks that I've been in this little tiny sort of, I can't even say apartment, sort of a room with a little kitchenette. It was really hard. Just think about more than 4 months I've been spending in the wilderness, in the nature, in the complete, total freedom. And now I was locked in almost 2 weeks in 4 walls. It was tough. It's really, I can tell you, it's easier to hike from Mexico to Canada. But it's over. Tomorrow my flight is leaving. So let's go. Packing. But the remaining time before my departure became very exciting, since I received the second COVID vaccination shortly before the completed PCR test. I was theoretically allowed to fly. But as a Swiss with residency in Sweden and vaccinated in the US, I did not meet the COVID vaccination standard in any way. After packing my bags, I learned that my American vaccination would not apply in Sweden. However, will it apply to enter my country of residence? If I would not make it through the check-in, many more weeks in the USA would be waiting for me, because the only valid document for flying in this case would be a negative PCR test. And after a COVID infection, a PCR test can be positive for up to several months, even if the virus is no longer transmissible. I found myself in a tricky situation and hoped for the endurance of the American check-in staff. I was nervous to the very tips of my fingers when I reached the check-in. But like you realized meanwhile, I really made it to the air and back home. Happily, I reached my tiny house on wheels. I've been traveling the world many times through my life. However, I realized how important my home is during this trip to the USA, which had a somewhat stressful ending. Besides all the traveling, I changed my home many times in my life. I moved on and on, within my home country Switzerland, but as well beyond the borders. First to Finland and another time from Finland to Sweden. But very soon after I bought this peninsula, I knew that I finally arrived. During 4 years, I turned my lot into my home. But what is a home? A practical definition of home might be as follows: a place where one currently lives and can usually be reached. A home is one's own four walls and a place of retreat, the place to which one returns again and again, settles in comfortably and feels at home. Home can also be the place where your loved ones are at home. But what is home really? Is it the place? I'm sure you've heard the saying, home is where your heart is. For me, home means one feeling above all. It is where I feel comfortable. Home is where I can be myself and do what I want. But home for me can be as well outside my physical home and peninsula, in places I like and where there are people I like. So home is a feeling that I can feel at any moment. It is unbound by space and time. It is not constant but changing. It is not linked to memories, but it is always rebuilding itself. In Swedish there is a nice saying, borta bra, hemma bäst. On trip good, at home best. But home is for me as well where my dogs are. I really love my animals and they are like my family. I am Rashka, a 4-year-old young female with lots of energy. I love the hard work in front of the sled, often even as a leader. My mom says that I'm a smart girl in the beginning of my best age. Whatever she means with this, but I do know how to mix up the heads of my castrated friends. Luna is my name and I was one of Barbara's best lead dogs. I'm a little older, born in 2014, but unfortunately I never knew boundaries while working. I would work myself to death if mom would not stop me. This is probably the reason why I'm currently suffering from osteoarthritis, as she is. I cannot always work anymore, only when I have better periods and the conditions out in the woods are not too tough. I'm Simba, the oldest dude in the kennel. I'm 11 years already. I stopped working about 4 years ago. I know it's a very early retirement, but when our pack leader Bianca died, I simply lost all the motivation. I never really recovered from her loss. At the same time, I lost in the pack's ranking, but I'm still a happy member of the group. My name is Gonzo. I'm a proud Norwegian. As a difference to most of my buddies, I came to Barbara as almost an adult. I am a very careful guy, thinking twice things over before I act. Ori here. I'm the brother of Luna, so as well 5 years old. I'm a very sensitive boy, even though I'm big and looking tough. As a lead dog, I always know exactly what mom wants, but I do have my own will. Sometimes I simply know better than her. Sadly, she mostly doesn't believe me. I am Vinny, the half-brother of Rashka. Gonzo is our common father, while Luna is my mother. As a puppy, I was extremely shy and careful. As well, my first years in front of the sled were very difficult for me. Until 2 years ago, when Barbara finally let me lead the team more and more often. I found my place in the team as the first one, and mom says that I'm a top leader nowadays. Max. After Simba, I'm the second oldest male in the garden. I turned 10 next spring and worked my whole life as a wheel dog straight in front of the sled. After Barbara's return from the USA, she blames me that I start to be weak in the back part of my body. So she will maybe not be surprised if I ask for retirement soon. I have not decided yet. And I'm Honda. I as well came as a teenager to Barbara, together with my half-brother Gonzo from Norway. When I was little, I had some bad experience with humans. After this, I was afraid of them for many years. It took me almost 5 years to find trust in my mom and my pack. But these days, I'm a happy guy, very much in love with my mom, Rashka, and even many other humans. My passion with sled dogs began about 25 years ago. During winter '96, I worked as a dog handler and tourist guide on a husky farm in the Finnish Arctic. I immediately fell in love working with people and huskies. It didn't take long and I had my own dogs. Later I founded my own adventure company with various summer and winter activities. Of course, always my sled dogs as the center of attention. But I started to miss the mountains and guided mountain tours in Sweden and Norway as well. Still with the main activities skiing and snowshoeing with huskies, furthermore hiking. This was the moment when I wanted to move my life once more. I felt rooted in Swedish Lapland and moved in 2008. So I bought a tourist company which was followed by a very intense period with too much hours behind the office table. I played, ran and trained my dogs always late at night. No livable life for either them or me. After selling this lodge in 2014, I soon restarted working with my dogs and guests in the Scandinavian mountains. Today I work only part-time in tourism and enjoy my doggies only for me privately. Of course we are mostly mushing, but often we are as well on skis or on foot, especially Luna with arthritis and soon probably as well Max as a young retiree needs alternative training. Simba, already a pensioner for many years, does not want to go out anymore. He enjoys his life almost exclusively in the huge running yard, which is okay for me as well. Now you met my family and I'm really looking forward to this winter. I can't wait to start to drive out. I have to make some trails first. It's pretty difficult since the waterways, lakes and ditches and small rivers, they are all still open. But I will start to work on it a little bit. Probably I'll find some kind of loop to get started. If you liked this video, I would be very happy if you subscribe and stay tuned. Join me on my winter adventures with my dogs or without dogs, with skis. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward and I hope you too. Thanks for watching. See you then.